I was thinking about how I'm being forwarded all of these videos and end times type prophets and people who are talking about the end times and how the Bible spoke of the end times and there'll be birthing pains and all these things. So I'm not saying that those are not legit scriptures and they're not important to know. And I believe that it's important to realize our power. And if all of our eyes are turned on things of the future or creating the end of the world or trying to accelerate the end of the world, then we're not really holding up our responsibility to pray for the glory of God to be revealed on the planet in healing our nation. I really like how Stephen Furtick put it. He was saying that, I don't know if it was him that got in the wreck or if it was someone else, the story he was telling, but he was saying, when you're looking 3 stoplights ahead of you into the future, you're not present in the moment, which means you'll run right into the person in front of you. I feel like it's so important for the voices of prayer to raise up to heaven and to the ends of the earth of restoration and joy and peace. We should be spreading the news of love and peace, not coming up with some big event of the end of the world right now. This is not a time to be looking for all these symptoms and creating some end of the world story when our whole life, this physical reality, is something we want to experience and enjoy and love. And I want to stay here longer. I don't want to go down that path with all those people talking about the end times and the devil and we're going to have famines and earthquakes. And yes, we're going to have things like this, but right now is not that time. You have a responsibility, church, to look towards the heavens and pray that God will use us right now where we are, not 3 weeks ahead of us, but right now. What is it he's speaking now? What is it we can do right now to create unity and peace and joy and recovery and healing, and meditate on the things for the current relevant issues, not trying to foresee the end of the world. I just had to say that. I feel strongly that it's important for us to not direct our eyes in the wrong direction right now. You have, this responsibility as a human being to love humanity, not point fingers for one, and to pray for restoration and life. And what will be, will be. There's nothing we can do about it, but we could choose to enjoy our journey here longer. We could choose to enjoy the process, and we could choose to experience overcoming. That's what's so exciting. I can't even talk. That's what's exciting, is the overcoming. Feeling this exhilaration of overcoming a great obstacle. And right now, honestly, just even with the Democrats and Republicans actually talking and getting along, and I mean, there's a lot of conflict still, but there's a lot of people who are, like the president said, who are speaking and they're getting along. I mean, that's huge. There needs to be more of that. And sometimes it takes a great obstacle in order for that to happen. So stop focusing on what ifs and 3 lights ahead of you and doom and the end of the world. And for some, I know it's not doom and the end of the world. Some of it, it's the great, exciting revelation of the Christ coming back to claim this church. That's great. But this is a great mission we have here. We don't want to shorten the fun ride. Like, I don't want to go to Disneyland and try to make it, that day end quicker. I want to enjoy the whole theme park and go up those roller coasters and go down the roller coasters and be a little bit fearful and excited and enjoy this journey. So anyway, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. And my wording isn't always perfect, but my heart is right. I hope I was able to get across that main fundamental belief I have right now of, making sure you're directed in the right direction and you're not escaping being present and helping those around you. And if you don't have finances, obviously a lot of us are in fear right now. But when you really get your mind right and you're focusing right, you won't have to experience that fear. You'll notice that things just work out for you because you didn't go down that thought pattern of fear. I had an earlier experience this week. Earlier this week, I had an experience where I hadn't spent enough time in my prayer time, and I was listening too much to the news and random things people are sending me, and I've sent things out because my heart's right is to share the information, but things turned up to be not exactly correct, and that's okay. I just think it's mainly important to get our information from God and from our inner being, and make sure that the message we're giving out is creating life and restoration, not fear. That's the key. I feel like God corrected me on. We don't need to be looking towards anything other than life and joy and fear and restoration right now. Don't worry about the future. It's going to be happen. I mean, God has given us promises that are going to take place, but we need to take responsibility for the moment and what we're doing now to create that atmosphere in our presence and in the presence of our fellow human beings, and not look for faults and not look for doom. Does that make sense? Anyway, have a great day, you guys. Enjoy your much needed time of rest and look at it that way. And don't fear anything. Just choose joy now.